Well, graduation season is an exciting time, not just for the graduates, but also parents and grandparents. And really, this is an opportunity as a parent and grandparent to set your graduate up for success financially. We'll talk about some of the actions you can have right now, the simple steps you can take to help them build a foundation for the future. Welcome in. This is Perfect Game Retirement. I'm Ben George with Ryan Ledden at Black Oak Asset Management. Ryan, I know your kids aren't quite to the graduation age, but I'm assuming you have a number of friends and probably clients that have kids graduating right now.
Yeah, we had kids later in life, so yeah, I'm of age where I could definitely have a college grad, much less a elementary school kid right now and a eighth grader. So we'll be transitioning to middle school and high school in our household. So yeah, we're not there yet. Obviously, I try to do my job as much as I can to educate them on some of the topics that we're going to talk about today. But yeah, a slew of friends and family members. I mean, graduation parties on the weekend, like those drop-in, graduation parties that everybody has. We've already gone to two of them. I think there's two or three more as far as friends and clients go. So yeah, it's never ending, but cool phase of life for them. I remember those times very well.
Yeah, you got your life ahead of you. It's an exciting time. And this conversation is more tailored towards college graduates. Now, some of these lessons can be applied to high school graduates as well who are going off to school and living on their own, but more focused towards the college graduates. And I think these are some basic things that hopefully you've already kind of maybe not perfected. We never truly perfect them, but hopefully you've got these as part of your daily life in your financial habits. But we want to instill these in the younger generation, a chance to mentor them as well. And again, it begins with saving and investing early. I think that's the first message, right, Ryan? Because when you start getting a paycheck, it's very easy to start spending that paycheck when you first have it, but there's just so much power in putting money away at a young age.
Yeah, so easily said as opposed to easily done. So yeah, I mean, I even have some clients, which is a great idea, and I totally see myself doing this. Is like they will, as long as they, if their child has a retirement plan, say a 401k, and there's a 4% match or a 6% match, whatever the match is, they encourage them to go up to the match, and then they'll fully fund. They'll basically give them a gift every single year, and they'll fully fund their Roth IRA for them. I'm like, that's awesome. That's genius. So being able to sock that money away to give them incentive to do it, because you're right, so many young adults get a paycheck for the first time in their lives, a significant paycheck. Let's say maybe they worked through college, but it's just basically to get by, and they do get their first paycheck and they're wanting to buy a new car or buy this or buy that. And shoot, with real estate now being so expensive, they're almost de-incentivized to even buy a house. So they're not even thinking about that. They're just looking to, where do I go rent somewhere and then buy stuff. So I'm stereotyping, but I've seen it. So there is a lot of truth to what I am saying. So to build in those habits, it's the compounding growth. It is the eighth wonder of the world they talked about. Is how much that money builds up over time. It's so small at first, but getting that first match, opening up a Roth IRA, those things have got to be no brainers to instill that discipline, and then it's only going to continue to get better over time. But if you let that margin squeeze into their life early, it's very difficult to squeeze it out. So you want to start that right away when they're eligible to be able to contribute to something.
Even if you can just motivate them to save a little bit, right? Even just putting a little bit away can pay some big dividends in the future. So a great kind of first lesson for a new graduate. The importance of emergency fund. I know this is one that I think it's harder to kind of push this on someone that's really young, Ryan, and help them kind of realize it's important because, you feel like, you're invincible in many ways and emergencies aren't going to affect you. But I think it just kind of goes more towards, hey, you just need to have some money set aside for, hey, anything that comes up that you don't expect to have to pay for.
Yeah, because I mean, their whole lives, their emergency fund's been their parents
Yep.
probably, so they've never had to do that. But yeah, now that you're quote unquote on your own and have bigger expenses and bigger responsibilities, more emergencies, if you will, are way more expensive. Emergencies in high school and college are very different than what they are when you're on your own. So it is. There's nothing sexy to it of money just kind of sitting there. At least now it can earn a little bit of interest in a high yield savings account. But trying to get young adults to be able to save for an emergency fund is sometimes difficult because they want the next best thing. They're trying to make the quick buck. They want the Coinbase this or Coinbase that, and sometimes it's difficult to be, slow and steady, the tortoise and the hare. But there's a lot of truth to that story. So hopefully, painting that picture of the importance of an emergency fund and showing how detrimental getting into credit card debt would be because you don't have an emergency fund is compounding interest in the wrong way.
Well, let's talk about debt, Ron, because I think that's the next thing to really help someone with. And this is a tough lesson to learn. And oftentimes it's one you have to learn the hard way. But if you can avoid that, it's great. But just understanding debt management, debt can be a good thing. Credit cards can be a powerful tool, but also the very easy to lose track. And as you mentioned, that compounding interest the wrong way can really hurt you as you try to grow.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We talk about, the dangers of credit card debt, but I know Dave Ramsey would poo-poo on what I'm about to say, but I mean, there are some instances where you have to build up credit to be able to purchase some things, to be able to afford a house that's $500,000 for a starter home. It's just crazy to me, depending on what area of the world you live in. I know in the county I live in, it's like, oh my gosh, the prices just continue to shoot through the roof. I just got my property tax assessment, and I'm like, good grief. I mean, it's great, but it's also more property taxes have to be paid. But so, debt management is huge. Paying these debts off. If you do have a credit card, to build up your credit, pay it off weekly. I don't even like to get to the point where it's a monthly thing. Pay it off weekly because you can pay those things off. I know you have until the end of the billing period to pay it off, but just building that discipline and getting it over with and out of the way. I do that with our company credit card, is pay them off quickly as I can. So, and paying off student loans. Student loans aren't going anywhere. I still have some people going, well, what if they get rid of them? Don't wait on that. It's just not going to happen. So pay those things off. It will boost your credit history and your payment history, which will help your credit score to hopefully be able to afford better home loans because your credit score is higher. It is what it is. It's your interaction with debt and just being responsible with it.
All right, debt management is so important. All right, what about just budgeting? Again, this is kind of goes back to saving and not kind of overspending with the debt portion of things, but just kind of understanding those basic budget principles. And I think maybe kids kind of know what it means, but I don't think, going line by line and understanding truly how to track your expenses and paying yourself first, what that really looks like.
Yeah, I mean, paying yourself first is the key. It really, really is. Obviously, there's so many apps out there. I had a client recently ask, "Oh, what app do you use?" I'm like, "I don't use an app." Yeah, it's just behavior that you instill in yourself over time. I mean, you can go as old school as a yellow pad. As soon as you purchase something, write it down. It's like diet plans. A lot of people have to write down what they eat, and they don't want to have to write down that I just had a Hershey bar or a Snickers bar. They don't want to write that down. So same thing, you don't want to go and write something down that you spent money on. You're like, oh, why did I spend money on that? Because if you write it down, then you probably go, that was stupid. I shouldn't have bought that. So building in those budgeting principles, yeah, I mean, it can be tech savvy because that's just the world we live in, and that's what most people know. Most young adults do not know a life without this thing. There was no life without this thing. I even had my son ask me not too long ago, when you were little, could you see in color? I'm like, oh my God. Yes, son, we could see in color. It's not color's not a new technology, but anyway, so you just have to build in that discipline because it's not going to be perfect every month, nowhere close. You just have to build in that discipline where you're getting close to being right.
Yeah, I love that. That's funny. Kids have a different perspective on technology and things that were around even just 20 years ago. Last thing, gift ideas, Ron. I think it's a great opportunity. I know grandparents and parents want to maybe provide something financial or financially related to their recent graduates. So, what ideas maybe do you have, or what have you seen clients do in terms of providing some great gift ideas for the new grad?
Yeah, I mean the one I mentioned before, opening a Roth for your adult child would be awesome. It gives them kind of a leg up, if you will, and there's gifting limits you can do for individuals up to, I think it's maybe up to 19,000 this year. You can give per person, which that's more than a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is 7,000 for a young adult. But just being able to do that for them, and then eventually, turn that responsibility over to them as their income goes up. But giving them that gift would be awesome. I've even had some clients who, if they work with us in a fee only basis where we're just creating a financial plan for them, I've had clients pay for the financial plan for their young adult. So they don't have to pay for it. They pay for it, and they get this financial plan. It at least gives them kind of a runway to work for what it could turn into. So, um, you know, financial literacy books. It depends on if a young adult was wanting to read some of that stuff. That's how I kind of scratched my itch when I was younger. Is some of these books up here I read a long time ago when I was playing baseball, and I could kind of see my career coming to an end. So I wanted to see how money worked and what you could do, and read a really thick book. And I think it's still, yeah, the Consumer Reports Money Book. It's right there on that shelf. I still have it. It's a big, giant green book, and it's so dry and boring. But I read it, and it stuck with me, and it led me to doing what I do now. So giving books, I think, is a great idea as well.
Did any of your teammates take a stab at that book as well?
Nope. I read these on my own because I would do shoulder rehab. I
Yeah.
was done. I had shoulder rehab from 8 to about 9:30, 10 o'clock every day. So I was done, and I lived in my host family's house. They were gone for the summer because they were up in New York hosting another minor league team. So they literally let me live in their house on the causeway in Sarasota, Florida. So I would literally go to the beach. I know this sounds boohoo, but I went to the beach every day, and I had that book or some sort of book and read it. And I have marks all in that book. But yeah, no, there's no one there with me.
I heard the minor league life was rough, but that sounded like it.
Most of it was. That part was not. But then
Yeah.
again, I knew my career was. I could see the writing on the wall. Like, this is not good. My rehab is not going well. So I could see the inevitable. It was coming to an end.
Yeah. Well, look, this is a great opportunity. I know you're very prideful and very excited about the future of your graduate, but it's a great time to maybe take a few moments, teach them these lessons and help set them up for long-term financial independence and success. I think that's such a great gift, and one that they'll appreciate more and more as they get older. So hope this gives you some ideas on how to approach that. But if you have any questions for Ryan, go to speakwithryan.com, schedule a time to sit down with him and the team at Black Oak Asset Management and begin talking about your financial future as well, if that's of concern or something you want more information on. But we appreciate you checking out this video, this episode of Perfect Game Retirement with Ryan Ledden at Black Oak Asset Management. We'll talk to you again soon. Please subscribe.